Alright, so Ghost of Yotei has came and went, and it's been about a month since its release. I wanted to get this video out to really see what I thought about the game and give my final thoughts and conclusions on my opinions on this game, especially after giving it the full platinum playthrough. The sequel to the amazing video game that was Ghost of Tsushima. That was definitely my favorite game from the past generation. I think Ghost of Tsushima was really the one title that actually made me want to get a PS5 since I never got a PS4. And I absolutely adored that game. It definitely does follow the Ubisoft formula of the open world and finding collectibles and activities and doing, repetitive tasks, but it actually made it very fun. It was a very fun open world, and I actually enjoyed doing a lot of the repetitive tasks in that game. So now that I finally beaten Ghost of Yotei, I finally want to give my opinions on it and what I thought of the game and giving it its honest, fair try. My first playthrough was about like 50-ish, 60 hours. Platinum the game. Do I think it's the best sequel ever made? Definitely not. But overall, I can say I enjoyed my time with the game despite some of the hiccups in it. Now, I know Ghost of Yotei had some controversy before coming out, and I decided not to even care about any of that. I just wanted to give this game a fair shot. I just want to preface this to say that I really love the series, and my criticisms with it will come out of a place of love. I truly do cherish this Ghost series, especially from Sucker Punch. I want the series to be the best it can be, so I gave Ghost of Yotei a proper playthrough and made it all the way till the end to give my honest opinions before I made a review. And when I originally heard that this game was going to have a female protagonist, I can't lie, I felt a little disappointed that we weren't going to get any more of Jin's story. But regardless, I gave the game a chance with Atsu as the lead protagonist, and I was kind of left conflicted. I think she could have been a great character if the writers of the game actually gave her a good plot line, a good story, and a better background, because honestly, this plot of revenge and having our family get murdered, and we have this so-called Yotei 6 that we have to hunt down and get our revenge on, it's just a cookie cutter ass slop narrative. I'm gonna be honest. It reminds me a lot of AC Shadows, and you guys already know how I felt about AC Shadows, and if you don't know, go check out my video. I definitely do not like that game, to say the least. Yeah, I think she should have been written a little better, but regardless, I'll get more into that later into the review. So anyways, let's get straight into Ghost of Yotei and what I thought of the game. So let me give some context and background of the game. It does take place in Ezo, a northern part of Japan in the 1600s, which is set about 300 years after Ghost of Tsushima's story. So yeah, Jin is not showing up in this game, although there is like a little cameo that you do get to see at the end of the game, more towards the end part of the game, where you get to actually get Jin's sword and his ghost mask, which was really nice. I do like that touch of Sucker Punch to at least, give a little nod to the previous game. It's basically the beginning of the Edo period, so guns are being introduced to the land. At first, this game's openings really was impressive, and I gotta admit the whole rundown when you're going down the hill and the opening sequence is fantastic and a very, very nice set piece. I will say the game does look very good compared to the Island of Tsushima. A lot more foliage and graphical fidelity upgraded in this one, and I do gotta admit it does keep faithful to the art style of the first game, and it does have some of the most beautiful vistas you'll see in all of gaming for sure. So our protagonist this time around is Atsu, which is a wandering mercenary who lost her family to a group called the Yotei 6. It's a really basic premise. I'll be honest, it's kind of an AC Shadows plot here. I was invested into it like a little bit in the beginning, but after a while it really got boring, especially with all the flashback stuff they were trying to do with her. I think when writers use too much flashbacks, especially when they're introducing a new character, and especially a new character in a new series where you have had a beloved already icon, which was Jin in the first game, you gotta come up with a strong ass background for the new character and introduce them. Like I think of like a good way this was done was like Arthur Morgan compared to John Marston in the first Red Dead to the Red Dead 2. So you gotta cook up something nice here. But yeah, there's really not much connections to her and Jin, to be honest. Two very different characters, and Jin definitely came from a place of honor and conflict within himself, and Atsu's more of a kill hungry, like revenge Onryo is what they call her. Yeah, it's kind of basic. She didn't really stand out to me much in this game. She does have her own conflicts, and that comes later in the story, which I'll definitely discuss because I do like some of the stuff they did with her character. But overall, I wasn't too impressed with her. She is very brutal, I'll give her that, but some of her feats are just kind of unbelievable in my opinion, especially when she's wielding like these big ass swords and weapons and stuff. Like, I know there was like woman warriors before, but I don't know. It's kind of weird when this lady's kind of like sweeping every single like big buff enemy, and it's kind of unbelievable in my opinion. Yeah, there's also one thing about this game I just cannot get over is the fact that she defeats Musashi in this game. So you do get to face a legendary samurai called Musashi, and for all my Vagabond readers, you guys know that Musashi Musashi is peak. Like, this dude is a legendary samurai who still talked to this day for his feats because of how, you know, how goated he was and how strong he was, bro. He was truly the unrivaled. They do give this guy a bit of a nod in this game where they do call him Takuzo the Unrivaled. That's his, like, his first name before he becomes Musashi. Anyways, that's more stuff into the whole story behind him. And yeah, you know, Musashi was a real person, and there's no fucking way Atsu's beating this dude. Like, I know this is stories like fiction, you know, this is a video game, it's not totally real, but it just felt kind of out of place. I just don't think Atsu would ever do this, or any female warrior, doesn't fucking matter the time period, even if it's in a video game, just kind of just rubbed me the wrong way, especially on a character that I really loved. I just think her quest for revenge was just kind of boring. It just was not good. Very predictable narrative, and it really dragged in some points of the game, especially in the quest to kill all of the Yotei 6. It really does just share the same plot as AC Shadows, which is a game I absolutely think failed at its narrative. I think having flashback sequences for background context for Atsu was a mistake. It's definitely a poor writing tool, and I don't like it when any developer uses this for a character background. It really sucks. Like, you have to do flashbacks a certain way to get them really through to the audience and have us, you know, actually fall in love with the character that you're trying to introduce us to or give us context to. Yeah, definitely too much of it in this game. So yeah, I think a lot of the background context they're trying to get for Atsu in this story was just not it. I do like some of the child sequences with her and her family and the bonding that they do, but you know, that it does get old after a while. You know, there isn't really much gameplay in that. You're kind of just seeing like cinematics and talking with the family and stuff, and it's nice to a point, but you know, it's a video game, bro. Like, I'm trying to play a game. This is some of the Sony cinematic slop I don't like. They really should have just started her as a child in the beginning of the game, to be honest, so we can see her grow up and then, you know, see how we bond and then see the Yotei 6 slaughter the family. You know, the pacing of the story wouldn't probably have been good if it was that way. Honestly, it would have started off really slow, so I do see why Sucker Punch did the flashbacks instead. But yeah, it's a tough tightrope to balance, but I do think starting her off as a child and maybe having shorter sequences with more gameplay involved or something, like, it would have been nicer than the fucking lackluster flashbacks, in my opinion. And again, the story was so predictable. I'm honestly so disappointed in this aspect of the game because I think Sucker Punch really played a safe narrative in this sequel and making the story so bland and basic. It really hurts the character of Atsu the most, which is like the main point of us playing this game, is to see who this new character is in the Ghost series. And I think it could have been better received, honestly, if they had actually given her a real good plot. And I know they can write, man. They had an awesome story with Jin's, especially with his conflict of honor and becoming the ghost and having the Mongols invade his homeland. There were stakes there, you know. Jin's struggle actually felt real, and there were some ties to actual historical accuracy to that. And it's really cool to see, you know, how Jin eventually becomes the ghost after being, you know, this honorary samurai who can never, you know, betray that code. But once, you know, the Mongols have invaded, you know, as the saying goes, you know, honor died on that beach. And it's so true. And I think Jin's character is just so much better in that way, where you actually get to feel his struggle and his conflict within, and you get to see that through the gameplay as well. You know, you get to choose to play more honorary, or, you know, play more of, you know, stealthy and betraying that code and playing more of a shinobi. But anyways, I digress. Atsu really should have just had a better background, in my opinion. I think she could have done a lot better in that aspect of the narrative, and it would have helped her case a lot more. And yeah, the side characters actually in this one were not too bad. Some were okay, some were good, and like a couple were just forgetful. I enjoyed some of the cast, like Junbei, which was Atsu's brother. There's a bit of spoilers here, guys, so if you haven't played the game, definitely skip on the story part here. And he joins you in the beginning of the game as well, and then there's like a sequence where he dies, and this is like the beginning of the game, and you're just, it's supposed to be believed that he's dead, and you know, you're the only orphan who lived out of that slaughter from the Yotei 6. But then later on, he does come back, and I also predicted that this dude was gonna come back. I was like, there's no way our brother's dead. Like, I can already tell this narrative's gonna go this way, and we're gonna find him, we're gonna reunite or some shit, and lo and behold, it happened. So yeah, another prediction that I got right from the beginning of the game. I did enjoy his character. I do like that he became the samurai under another lord, and then, you know, he still tried to make a life for himself after, you know, what happened to him and the tragic, you know, death of his family and Natsu's, you know, family, both of theirs. So we also find out Junbei gets a daughter later into the game, and then the family dynamic between Atsu, Kiko, and Junbei becomes really interesting at that point, because Kiko really added like a nice touch to the character dynamics, because now the relationships are involved of like remaking somewhat of a family now that they don't have anymore, and with this new family with Kiko and Junbei, and I think Junbei is the lady that gave birth to Kiko died as well, so it's kind of like Atsu's like kind of playing as this like female role model for Kiku, but she ends up seeing some stuff in Atsu that's bad, and then causes Atsu to change within her from being this Onryo character. And that's another thing, I don't like that they did this Onryo like ghost thing like about her. Like in concept it sounds cool, but it just kind of was unbelievable. Like, can we just call her like just a normal fucking ghost? I don't want to hear this Onryo, like this lady like spirit that's like killing people. It sounds stupid to me in my opinion. As Atsu learns to become this aunt later on in the game, she gets some form of like a family returning to her while also still bent on revenge and then trying to overcome being the Onryo. But I did like what Sucker Punch was trying to do here. I definitely think they could have cooked a little more here, maybe had it introduced us earlier with Kiko, and then maybe the Onryo thing could have played better out. But it is what it is. I do like the family dynamic between all these three characters, and I ended up really enjoying Kiku because she definitely, you know, she was like kind of reflecting some traits of Atsu with like her like murderous rage, because I think Kiku tried killing like a lot of people, or she would get very like gun-ho with her blade. So yeah, you could definitely see the female rage in her. Anyways, yeah, I also enjoyed the kid that we meet in the game who sells the trinkets of the dead people. I can't really recall his name. He was really cool. Also, some of the masters who teach you new weapons were pretty awesome too. Those were some great characters. I love the background to some of them. I think the one in the ice had like a dead son who's trying to kill him, or it was like a dead grandchild. And yeah, he teaches you the chain and sickle, the Kusurigama, I believe. And yeah, his storyline was pretty cool. Yeah, so there were some good characters as well. But I think one of the characters that I felt was weak was the first, or I guess part of the Yotei 6. This character called the Kitsune. Her name's Oyuki. And you find this out through like she helps you out in like middle of the game, and she's there to like, you know, to help you out, and like she just seems like another, you know, normal character. But then you later find out she was this Kitsune character that was part of the past group that killed your family, and so Atsu gets mad at her, but then ends up forgiving her. And then it was a good character background for her, but I think it just did not hit, because by the point of like mid game where you're with this lady and then you find out the big reveal, it's like okay, I guess it kind of fell out of nowhere, to be honest, and it felt kind of written out of place. But I do understand what Sucker Punch was trying to do here. I felt she could have been written differently to get to the ally side, to come out of her instead of being this predictable bad guy turned good to help the protagonist like midway through the game. Like it was just cookie cutter ass like fucking narrative here. Felt her section of the game was the worst part of the game as well. Not a fan of snow areas, to be honest, in most video games, and the snow area here is fucking like, it's beautiful, don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful place, but it is so annoying having to deal with the shinobi in this area, the puzzles, the amount of puzzles in this fucking game, holy shit, especially in this section of the game, because they're like open levels now, and this region is just, oh my god, it is just god awful. I fucking hate doing all these puzzles. Like, they give you puzzle boxes as well, you have to do it. It's very gimmicky. You have to like move around like shit in like your inventory, and you have to like take out these like black pieces of like this wooden box, and it's just annoying. This was just more of an annoyance than cool. Like the novelty wore off real fast, and yeah, it was just too repetitive and boring. And yeah, you would do riddles and stuff, and then there was like this paper that would come up where you had to like find out the shinobi code and figure out, you know, symbols and sigils like in places where these shinobi of the kitsune, the new kitsune, are hiding at. And it's like, it came to a point where it was either too brain dead easy or complex, where I had to stop trying and look up how to solve some of these things, because some of these puzzles were not it, bro. Some of these were too fucking annoying. I think my only issues with the pacing of the story is by the middle parts of the game and end, because there's some sections, especially with the Ainu and the Kitsune, that just drag. And I don't want to be offensive or make fun of how these indigenous people looked in real life, because that's who the Ainu people are of Japan, but the tattoos on these people in the mountains really kind of threw me off, I gotta be honest, in this game. They kind of show up with the Jonkler look. Like, they got like this, I mean, I know this is like their natural like look on them. Like, they have this like tattooed mouth, or like tattoos on their faces, you know. It does mean something in their culture, but I think we could have done without this in the game. Like, I'll be honest, like their section just sucked, even though like the mountainous like region that they're in is really nice and really beautiful. Just I can't even recall like the whole plot line there, because it was just so fucking forgetful. I did not really care about any of these Ainu characters, unfortunately, but they did have a nice region to explore. Now let's talk about gameplay and combat. So one of the most important aspects of the first Ghost of Tsushima was definitely the combat. I think that's what really like made me fall in love with that game. Even though it was kind of simple, you know, the stances of the first game and switching through them to fight different types of enemies was actually really nicely done. It felt fluid. You know, you had to switch your stances depending on type of foe. Like foes had shields or they had like a different type of weapon. You had to like stagger them. It was just a solid combat system, and it was just felt so fluid. It felt like a movie when you actually like got your combos and parries on time. It was just beautiful. But in this game, you don't really get those stances anymore. You get new weapons actually, and it's the dual blades, the yari, the spear, the kusarigama, the chain sickle, and the odachi, which is like this big ass sword. And I gotta be honest, like seeing Atsu wield that big ass sword was kind of stupid. It looked kind of goofy most of the time. I really didn't use the odachi a lot in this game, but yeah, another woman moment there. I gotta be honest. Yeah, they all have their unique combos and advantages, such as the spear, which is good against chain and sickle enemies, and the odachi is good against brutes and big groups, and the dual blades are good against spears, and yeah, the chain sickle is good against shielded opponents and gives you some crowd control. They all also have their own, you know, unique techniques and skills, and yeah, they're very fun. I do admit the new weapons are fun. I do like using them all. They all feel different. They all give a nice punch. I especially loved the dual blades the most. I think their technique is the best because you learn from Takazo in this game. His two sword stance or whatever is his sword technique, which is absolutely awesome because that's who Musashi was. He did use two blades, and yeah, you get to learn his heavenly strike, I think is what it's called, and you just chop off people's arms, and it's fucking awesome. The weapons variety are a nice addition, but I did feel a bit overwhelmed with the amount of weapons to switch from and the amount of enemies you have to face, because there's a lot of enemy types in this game that just keep coming at you. They're not like Ghost of Tsushima where they come one-on-one. It's more like they all jump you. They all literally jump you, and they can fuck you up real quick. And yeah, taking the time to switch between the weapons is just annoying because one will still like target you and attack you with a different weapon type, and then you'll have the wrong weapon type to like parry them or counter them, and it gets annoying, especially during big groups. But it is nice on a 1v1. By the end of the game, I kind of did miss the original sword stances. So yeah, stealth is also back in this title. It's the same as Tsushima's. It's nothing crazy. I don't think they really changed much here. You still take cover in foliage and assassinate unsuspecting enemies. And yeah, not much will change here, to be honest, and that's fine. You know, the first game had some good stealth, so you know, don't fix what's not broken. You can also use the chain and sickle now to kill from a distance and drag foes to their death, which was really cool. I also really love the new ranged weapons, actually, the rifle and pistol. You also get your bows back from the original game, but after getting the guns, I kind of never went back. They felt solid and powerful, and I absolutely think they are one of the best additions to the gameplay. My only complaint is, why did they give the guns so late in the game? You get these guns basically by the literal last like section of the game where you still have to like find them, upgrade them to make them even viable by the end, because I played on lethal difficulty, so the guns weren't doing shit to like the enemies by the end because they were already tanky and the guns weren't doing shit. So make sure you have all the supplies and resources to upgrade them as soon as possible, because yeah, they're really like some of the best weapons in the game. I think this would have added a lot to the combat in the early game, especially with some opponents that really, you know, beat your ass on the lethal difficulty, and it would have made it much more manageable. One new addition is also that they added a wolf to join you in fights, which was really cool. I do like what Sucker Punch was trying to do here with Atsu and Junbei being like these twin wolves, and the wolf like kind of has a spiritual connection to Atsu. And yeah, it's cool that they join you in fights. And he did save my ass a lot of times, not gonna lie. They can res you sometimes. Let's say you're taking out many enemies, for example, and you get killed. You know, sometimes the dog will come in and actually save your ass, and you'll get basically like another second win. You know, you won't have to die that encounter. I really have no complaints about the dog. I loved the skill tree for them. You know, it's really cool. You can also summon him through the shamisen, I believe, or her. I'm pretty sure it's a her. Yeah, not a him. It's a female dog. Everything's female in this game. So the dog will really help you in combat, and some cool sequences will happen when you get like critical strikes on enemies. Like the dog will just like obliterate them. Like he'll just jump on them and just like rip their neck apart or something. It's really cool to see. Another cool thing that they added into the combat is also the throwable weapons. Now you can like throw swords and spears and different types of weapons at enemies, especially if you find them on encampments or on the ground, or even after, you know, enemies die, they will drop their weapon, and then Atsu can actually take the weapon and throw it at them. This was actually a nice touch of combat. There's no complaints there. Really solid, really fun, and it actually added another dynamic to the gameplay. I think the Unryo mode that they had from the beginning of the game before you get your final ghost mode, it was kind of goofy. I'm not gonna lie. It did not feel like Jin's ghost mode. So essentially Atsu will scream, and then like the screen will turn black and white, and then like they all like quiver, like all the enemies, and then she stabs one on the ground. It felt kind of out of place. It felt stupid, I'll be honest. It felt goofy off fucking like strikes on the ground. It just was not cool. It wasn't cool until you actually got the ghost mode, and then you get like Jin's technique back from back then with his ghost mode. And yeah, I just felt like Atsu just kind of got a lot of stuff in this game like handed to her really easily. Like I think you also start with a grapple hook, because I remember in Ghost of Tsushima you do not start with a grapple hook, but Atsu like start off with a lot of stuff that Jin didn't have. And you know, I felt there was more of a progression with Jin's character in the first game, and then in this one it's kind of like Atsu is already this kind of like badass mercenary. She already has some of the tools that Jin had, and she just can do more because she's the woman, you know, she's a strong woman warrior. And yeah, whatever Sucker Punch was trying to like say with this, I mean, I don't fucking care, it's stupid. But yeah, anyways, back to enemy design and AI. The enemies in this game felt a lot stronger and unpredictable, especially the flaming chain and sickle dudes. Holy fuck, those guys were beating my ass. They were digging in me for sure. Yeah, fuck those dudes. Those guys were so strong. I think I'd probably die to that enemy type so much in this game. It's ridiculous. Probably over like 100 times. On lethal difficulty, they are just ridiculous. Like they have some unblockable moves. They have some crazy ass like combos, and they will track you no matter what. That's another thing I have a complaint about. Actually, the tracking on the fucking rolls of this game is so stupid. Sometimes these enemies will have just a combo that just keeps on going, and they will just track you wherever you roll. Doesn't matter. You don't get no Dark Souls fucking iframe. They will just dig in you, and it doesn't fucking matter. Absolutely cancer. But yeah, the enemies do feel smarter than Tsushima's enemies, so there's a big difficulty spike there. If there is a big group of enemies trying to kill you, they all will be killing you. They won't just be taking turns like I said before. This is not the first game. You will die. They will all strike at you. Some will be like maybe range, some will be like up close to you. And yeah, it's very hard, especially when you have like multiple like elite enemies trying to like take you out, and you have to like switch your stances, or you have to switch your weapons, I mean, and really, you know, get some form of like crowd control on them, because it gets hectic sometimes. I do like that in some regions they'll also ambush you, or a patrol will take you out and then take you hostage to a new area in certain regions, which is pretty cool. I do like that. You'll sometimes find a new like vanity item or a new cosmetic after you kill them, and they transport you somewhere new, so that's a nice addition. I did like that. If we're talking about enemies, I gotta talk about the boss fights in this game, and holy fuck, I absolutely think this is one of the gravest sins that this game does, is the actual boss designs. I think they are just absolutely a miserable experience to fight against, especially on lethal difficulty compared to Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, some of these bosses are just absolute dog shit. Like they are so cancer on lethal difficulty. I was so close to on many occasions to just like lowering the difficulty and playing it on the journalist mode, because it is just that cancerous, and their attacks are just so stupid. I understand, you know, they're supposed to be tough, but there comes a point where if their combos are just so ridiculous to the point where even if I do the right things like parry, block, get into the right position, and they still will somehow hit me no matter what I do, it is ridiculous. I don't remember the bosses being this crazy on Ghost of Tsushima, I'll be honest. Like the thing with Ghost of Tsushima is that a lot of the bosses there felt like a dance when you fight them. In this game, it just feels like you're just throwing everything at the fucking enemy and hoping something lands so they don't fucking kill you in like a hit or two. I feel like they were just really poorly designed, especially the Oni in the final boss. Man, fuck these two bosses, and fuck the Oni, and fuck, I don't even remember his name. Whoever the fucking last boss's name was, Saito. Fuck Saito and the Oni, they're dog shit. Fuck those two. Yeah, these two were the biggest pieces of dog shit, and the amount of like BS unblockable and dodgeable attacks that they have is just awful. Sucker Punch was not cooking on this shit. Get this absolute abomination of bosses out of this fucking game, because honestly, it really dragged down the game like a lot, in my opinion. I felt all the other bosses in this game were manageable at least. I did like the twin like sons of the word Saito, the final boss. I did like the dual fight you get with them like near the end of the game, and then you get to solo fight one of the brothers at the end, which actually was a pretty nice fight. I did like that because you get to like fight him with like a lightning background, and you know, he was very difficult actually too as well. But you know, you have to adapt and you use everything that you can to fucking kill these people. But yeah, back to the Oni. I think he was the one I fucking hated the most. Fuck that dude. He pushed me to the brink of insanity. I was playing this game on stream, and legit I died to this dude like over like 50 or 100 times, and I came to the point where I was like, fuck this, I'm gonna go get my buffs, I'm gonna go stock up on everything, and I'm using legit everything. I threw everything at this motherfucker to kill him because he was just absolute cancer. And it's crazy because I think the Oni's first stage is actually pretty good. You get to his second stage though, and this guy becomes the biggest piece of dog shit. He has such wide ass attacks, and they're on fire as well, and they just dig in you. Like, fuck this guy. This guy's a piece of dog shit. My god. Fuck this boss. This boss is trash. My god, Sucker Punch, never make a fucking boss like this again, because this is the biggest piece of shit of this game. I swear to God, I was fighting the Oni for like over an hour and I had to use everything to kill this dude. All consumables, all throwables, and it didn't fucking matter, man. This guy, this fucker is a nightmare on lethal difficulty, and I think he's by far the hardest boss in this game alongside Musashi. And at least with Musashi's, his duel felt like a dance, and a lot of the other like one-on-ones actually felt like a dance when you're fighting them, like his students and the students of Takuzo. But this fucking duel, fuck this guy. Like the Oni and the final boss, fuck him. Trash. Felt like fighting a brick wall, bro. I think I would have more fun fighting a brick wall than ever fucking playing this shit again. Oh my god. Dude, you cannot parry this dude. You cannot parry this dude. It's impossible to parry. It's the most beautiful thing this game has ever fucking made is this fucking dude right here. Oh my fucking god. Fuck this dude. Dude, I am dodging, dude. Oh my fucking god. Fuck this game, dude. Yeah. I cannot believe this guy is probably gonna make me lower difficulty. That's how bad this game is. Oh my fucking god, bro. I've gotten this whole fucking 40-hour playthrough with fucking lethal. I'm a fucking endgame build. I'm getting still fucking almost one-shotted, two-shotted every fucking time with this fucking piece of shit. Oh my god. Fucking trash. This is fucking trash. This is fucking garbage. So yeah, do yourself a favor, play this shit on journalist mode against these bosses because these guys are just poorly designed. They're trash. So yeah, other than those two, a lot of the other main duels were manageable. Some do get a little strong and hectic on lethal difficulty, but they're fun. But I do have to say, Ghost of Tsushima's duels are superior in every way, to be honest. I said Musashi. I think Musashi is the best designed duel in this game, and I love what they did with him. I still think Musashi's first and like second encounter with him is like the best of this game. I absolutely love like the amount of detail they put into him, because I think he also fights you with like an oar on the shore in the first encounter of him, and that is actually so accurate to his character, because when he fought Kojiro, which is like this other legendary samurai, he showed up late to their duel. He had him already frustrated, and then he came with a fucking oar. He didn't even fight him with a sword, and it was kind of like a sign of disrespect. So like Kojiro like charged at him, and then like I guess the story goes that way where Musashi just kind of beats him with an oar and kills him. So it was kind of funny seeing him pull out the oar and then try fighting us, and yeah, I still think it's stupid that we do end up killing him, but anyways, yeah, he really is the unrivaled. He's the GOAT. As you can tell, I'm a very big Musashi lover. I glaze Musashi, and there's a reason, because he's peak. The arenas where you fight Musashi are just absolute peak, especially on top of Mount Yotei. This was just absolute cinema. You kind of arrive and he's like, all right, ready to duel, and it's just a simple one-on-one, and you're fighting this legendary samurai on top of Mount Yotei. And I'm gonna be honest, I got my ass handed to me. Like, this dude is by far the hardest motherfucker. Like, you have to be perfect in this scenario, and I beat him on lethal difficulty. It took me probably like 100 tries, but I enjoyed every time dying to him and learning his moves, and it truly did feel like a dance, and just one wrong move is certain death, and that's really how it is fighting this dude, especially in the real life history of Musashi, bro. Like, most motherfuckers, like that dude was undefeated for a fucking reason. So yeah, Atsu is not the unrivaled one. Get that dog shit out of here. I love the fact that they do introduce him as Takuzo and you have to fight his disciples to get to him. I love the detail of him writing down the names of those he's slaying on the trees, and you can see like a bunch of these notes on the trees, which is really cool. Really nice detail in the environment when you see it. The fact you also get to fight him on the shore and he uses the fucking oar and he tells you to adapt is absolutely peak writing, and that's true to who Musashi is. And yeah, he was very adaptable. This motherfucker was like, yeah. He's Musashi. And if you have Red Vagabond, you know ball. You'll get his dual blade technique after the first encounter, which is like the best in the game, like I said before. And I think you did fight Kojiro in the first Ghost of Tsushima, if I'm not mistaken. So you never really get to see that legendary duel between Kojiro and Musashi, which sucks, but it is what it is. It's not revolved around them, obviously. It's revolved around the woman. So yeah, in this fictitious story, Atsu beats him, but in no world of reality is she ever, even in fiction as well, is she beating Musashi? But I digress. Yeah, best duel in the game, peak. And yeah, going back to the final boss, once I got to him, I just lowered the difficulty, and I could not be bothered with trying to time perfectly every single move to a boss I did not care about. The narrative like tried building up like this big badass like leader of the Yotei 6, but he was just like whatever, honestly. Just really whatever. AC Shadows type of game, honestly. Fucking crazy. It felt very anticlimactic anyways fighting him, and it just really wasn't that special of a final boss. Oh, and on top of it, he kills Junbei at the end, so it's like, it's just a cherry on top of predictability. You know, you're either gonna lose your family member, or you know, he's gonna come back, help you, and yeah, just on top of it, just whole narrative, whole story, predictable. I do have to say though, the game's difficulty is ridiculous at some points. I felt so weak even still in lethal, and especially after all my upgrades. Like I got all the upgrades to have like extra life, extra healing, you know, making parries like easier and shit. And you know, this game is still a lot harder than Tsushima's in my opinion. I had like every single upgraded charm to like the max, and I was still getting two-shotted by like fodder enemies. So that was great. Now that I'm like actually talking about this game, I think you should not play this game on lethal. Like it is nice to you know, have that like lethality behind like every strike, you know, every moment counts, but it just does not become fun after a while. By the end, if you have like all the upgraded sets of armor, upgraded weapons don't contribute to your survivability, like what's the fucking point then, you know? Even with all the fully upgrades, they'll still getting one-shotted, so whatever. I want to talk about exploration because I think that is the best part of the first game, which was getting to see the world and getting involved in all the activities and side content. You know, it did follow some of the Ubisoft formula, but I did like what they did with this game, where instead of having just a big open world, they had regions and open levels, and you would use your spyglass and hear rumors and get bounties to hunting down, you know, places of interest in the world. It really felt more immersive that way. This world definitely feels so alive and immersive, and it continues the same tradition as the first game, because Tsushima's open world was so alive and immersive as well. Collecting everything didn't feel like a chore, you know, like a certain Ubisoft formula we know and love. This game fucking sweeps Shadow. Shadow is a big piece of dog shit. It definitely destroys it in this exploration part. I did end up platinuming the game, so I ended up finding a lot of the collectibles, but unfortunately I felt like the cosmetics were a lot weaker in this game. Tsushima's catalog is just superior in every way, I gotta be honest. The horse armor selection sucks. Most blades, they just have a lot of the sheets, I would say, also had that fur shit on them, which was just trash and ugly. Like, I think there's not even much skins on the other weapons as well, you know, like what's going on there, Sucker Punch? Like, did you guys forget to like make fucking skins for the other weapons? Like, I know the swords are like the main tools, but you know, if you add new weapons, you know, at least make them look nice. Like, a lot of the skins weren't like that nice. There's like probably like 2 or 3 variants that are really nice, and that's about it on the other weapons other than the swords. Maybe more subjective here, but the armors are just not as good. Ghost of Tsushima's armors are just superior. Just absolutely superior. I didn't switch out many of my armor pieces or any of my armor sets because I didn't like most of them. A lot of them weren't nice. Like, yeah, some of them had like nice colors, nice changes, but they're kind of whatever. And I also felt that naturally finding all the vanity items was better in the first game. This game basically wants you to use the shamisen to find all the collectibles and hidden stuff, but I felt like I came across a lot less cosmetics in this game than I did in Ghost of Tsushima's. Which is weird because these are just open levels. They're not even as big as Tsushima's, or as big as the open world of Tsushima's. I mean, I really don't know the size comparison between the two games, but it felt like, you know, the levels were a little smaller, so I felt like I should have been finding a lot more. Oh, and they also kind of fucked up on the horse armor. I literally only got like 2 sets of armor for the horse, and that sucks. Like, in Ghost of Tsushima, you could drip out your fucking horse in like some cool ass armor. This game, no, they kind of forgore and they don't give you much. It sucks. Maybe with the DLC they'll add more shit, I don't know, but yeah, cosmetics in this game inferior to Ghost of Tsushima's. I really only used like a couple of armor sets, to be honest. I like the Shinobi one, and I think the Nine Tails, and maybe the main outfit the most. I didn't really use much else, to be honest. They also made us name our horse too in the game, which was kind of stupid because you don't even get much customization with them, and nothing really happens to the horse, thankfully. But yeah, the animal wasn't as customizable as they were in the first game, but I do think the sword customizations were good. I think there's enough variety there to at least, you know, find something you like, some cool color combinations there. Fuck a lot of the fur sheaths, they suck. I really just didn't find myself liking a lot of Atsu's customization options. I think I only really enjoyed a couple of armor sets, and that's pretty much it. And if I discovered a new set, probably only wear them once and then never bother wearing them again, even if they have like a good side abilities and stuff like that to them. I did like that you can edit the different tiers of armor though, so you can customize, you know, if you had a tier 1, a tier 2, or tier 3 or 4 of armor sets, and that was really nice. I would say the switch to the open world to open levels with your spyglass and stuff was good. I did like that aspect of exploration. It did feel more organic, finding stuff in the world that way, especially points of interest. The regions all feel different from each other as well. I do gotta give credit there. They offer unique beauty in all of them, so Sucker Punch cooked absolutely. They are some of the best backdrops, like sceneries, you will see in any video game. The environments are just a absolute eye candy to see for the player to explore. The quests and activities were actually pretty decent in this game. I actually do like some of the side content. Some of my favorite side quests, the snow bear quest, where basically you find this crazy bear in the snow area, and you have to like find an arrow from a legend to kill it, and it's literally this like super like angry bear in the mountain, and he's pretty fun and intense, and you have to like run away from it and like platform along the rocks along the mountains of the snow area. You have to hide in bushes to keep away from the bear, but the bear will be on like patrol looking for you. It was really goofy. I actually love this like goofy stuff. The bounties were also a nice touch in the game. You know, you just get these bounties of like different foes, and they all have like a unique art like on them, where you get to see like drawings of like the characters, and some were cool. Some were cool looking. Yeah, you just go out to a new place, find out some like info on them, some intel, and then yeah, you just go and kill them. And it was just rinse and repeat, fun missions, and yeah, each of them had something unique about them. Oh, and they also gave you a lot of money too. That's like a big incentive. The graphics and art direction are superb. The biggest upgrade of this game is honestly in that aspect. Finally get to see what the PS5 is capable of after like 5 years. Because I'll be honest, I don't think there's been much games on the PlayStation that have really like made me go, wow, this could not be on last gen. So yeah, like half of the PS5 games have been on PS4, so. The game is absolute eye candy, and the foliage is turned up massively, and there's a new weather system that can really set up some incredible landscapes throughout your playthroughs. A lot of moments was spent looking out to the horizon in this one for sure. Also, shrines are back, so you climb these big like mountainous shrines areas, secret areas, and you know, you platform through them, you swing from grapples, you go through tight crevices, and yeah, it is absolutely incredible when you get to the top of these and see the grand view at the end of them. Because even while you're climbing some of these regions, sometimes you'll see the region in the background when you're like climbing up them, and it's just absolutely beautiful. And honestly, it put me in awe of like that this is a real video game that you get to play. Mount Yotei really impressed me as well, like the whole volcanic area. You can even get to the middle of the volcano, and just getting to like run around the rim of it, it was just cinema. Yeah, shout out to Mount Yotei and the Sun's Peak Shrine. I think that's the one also by the sea. That was really nice. And like the Oni's area, that was by far my favorite shrine, I believe, was the Sun's Peak one. And that's like really on the shore. It's like these rocks with like moss in them. And some greenery, and it's just absolutely beautiful. My favorite shrine for sure. There's also little Easter eggs that Sucker Punch put into these games as well. They're hidden actually in some of these shrine areas, and they're really tucked away. You have to really look for them, and they're little nods to like their previous games, like to Infamous, to even like Sly, and obviously like other nods. Really cool. I really like that. I do like that they give you even a weapon. That's called, I think, the Infamous Blade or something. It's like the Storm Blade. Not the Storm Blade. That's Jin's weapon, but one of the swords you find has like lightning striking at it, which is really cool. Which is obviously a nod to Infamous. They also added a camping mechanic to the game, like RDR2, which I actually liked at first. I thought it was really nice that you can set up camp like in most of the regions that you visit, and it'll help you like regain your spirit, your health as well. You'll even get some buffs, and you'll cook like food and stuff in it. Although some of the cooking stuff and the gimmicky like touchpad shit with it was really like, I just did not like a lot of that stuff. Like you have to start a fire for the campfire as well. The stuff with the touchpad in this game just absolutely annoying after a while. It was like nice and quirky at first, but then like I can tell Sucker Punch made way too much of the DualSense's touchpad on this game. You do a lot with the painting, which was a nice addition, but it got old after a while. And yeah, you start fires. I think there's even like an option where you can actually blow into the mic or like some shit to like start the fire, which is that's too much. That's like, fuck that, that's trash. And then you can like tilt your PS5 controller to like cook the food. You get mushrooms or like fish to like fry, and you have to flip the sides of it. And yeah, there was even a section where they had like a Kingdom Come 2 like thing where you just like have an anvil and you can like upgrade your weapons. You just have to hammer away with the DualSense again, which was kind of dumb. But yeah, it's yeah, what can I say? I don't like gimmicky shit. Also, even on the shamisen, man, fuck the shamisen. The shamisen's trash. Like, the music is beautiful, don't get me wrong. Like, the sounds and the score on this game is like 10 out of 10. But fuck the shamisen. Every single part of this game where you have to use the shamisen to like, basically you're touching the touchpad to get to a certain note, and it's just like, this isn't gameplay, bro. Like, this is just some Sony like cinematic slop. And if you like this stuff, you know, you don't really like gameplay. I'm gonna be honest. You don't like video games. You don't like the actual interactive medium that a video game is. Some NPCs will join you at your camp as well. They'll either give you a quest or sell you stuff, which was a nice touch. After a while though, the charm wears off, and I found myself not using the camping mechanic as much. Yeah, it just didn't matter, like all the buffs and stuff and everything, resupplying and crafting all my consumables and throwables anymore. I'm so glad you can skip a lot of the gimmicky touchpad stuff too though, because yeah, it was just fucking boring. I get that they wanted to do something different from the first game, but it falls short. It's too repetitive, and I do miss the poems of the first game in Ghost of Tsushima, where it felt like you can really take in this world and feel part of it, because that's what I felt when you were doing like the poetry or the haiku in the first game. game where you actually get to decide what to see and incorporate into your poems. And I think you do end up finding a poem at Jin's shrine where you find his blade. I love the flower section that when you first arrive there to like Jin's place, the flowers from obviously the first game that are so iconic. And I love like the wide angle shot it does, like as it pans out, and then you can like touch the grass too. It's those little nice touches that I love. They really got some brownie points for me for having something to honor Jin's legacy. And I'll be honest, I really only used the shamisen at the end of the game to fight all the missing shit. I hardly used it in the beginning of the game, other than like find some bamboo strikes to up my spirits, or find hot springs. Besides that though, I didn't use anything else. Maybe the wolf one I did use. And speaking of bamboo strikes, I do like that they're back with a small twist where you'll use one side of the D-pad to cut through. There's like a section where when you're first learning to get the I believe it's either the dual blades. So the bamboo strike you have to do it during that section of the game where you're finding the master to the dual blades will make you basically use like the left side of the actual controller to cut through it, which was really hard. Honestly, it was really hard. And once you do it, it's like really nice. And yeah, you also get like a mid-air sequence sometimes with the cuts, and it adds something to the game. And yeah, obviously hot springs are back, and they added some new notes to them where you can summon like wildlife or other unique instances, and they'll happen in the background, which is really nice. And you also get to see Atsu cheeks. Yeah, fox shrines are back as well. All the stuff you collect for crafting is back, like metals, bamboo, flowers, etc. They also added wolf den areas where you have to follow your wolf into battle to free other animals, and they were decent for what they were. It was always nice fighting with your furry companion and releasing like animals, because kind of just follow him throughout the worlds or throughout the regions, and you're just like helping him free like animals. And I actually like the new coin game they added for gambling. It was pretty straightforward. Basically hit like one coin with another. Be sensitive with the triggers on this one. Like the more you hit one knocking another is how you rank up the score, and it's really nice. It's a fun mini game. It's only fun though when the NPCs are not aimbotting you and fucking cooking your ass to oblivion. I love the new addition of the Watanabe mode. Big fan of Shinichiro Watanabe's work, obviously. I love Samurai Champloo. I love Cowboy Bebop, two of my favorite animes of all time. Those shows are goated for sure. Definitely check them out. The music on them is fantastic. So the fact that they added a game mode where you can listen to some lo-fi and just enjoy the world of Ghost of Yotei is absolutely gorgeous, and I really appreciate them doing that. My recommendation honestly is to put on some of your own lo-fi, put some new jobas in the background, and play this game, because that's where it's truly incredible. I also got to give credit to the English voice actor who actually sounded believable in this game compared to something like AC Shadows, because AC Shadows' fucking voice acting was so bad. So yeah, it really puts that game to shame in every single way, bro, even in its sound design. No complaints to Yotei's sound for sure. I played in performance mode on a base PS5. I did encounter like some minor bugs, nothing too crazy. Game was pretty polished in my opinion. Loading times were very good in this title from what I noticed, switching to different places, finally utilizing the power of the PlayStation 5. So yeah, my final thoughts. To wrap it up, I have to really say I did end up enjoying Ghost of Yotei despite its lackluster narrative. I do think this game is an improvement of the Tsushima gameplay loop in many aspects, but it also falls short in some. While I do think Sucker Punch played it safe with this title, I do think it's a good to an alright successor to Ghost of Tsushima. I still think the original game is better, and the protagonist and story really outshine Yotei's, which is unfortunate. But I hope going forward Sucker Punch will learn from this game and give us another entry with a better story, because I know they can write great stories. I only want the best for this series because I care for it and I want it to be the best it can be. I will be looking forward to maybe a DLC dropping for this game. I'll probably be checking it out if I'm being honest. But yeah, for the next entry, I don't know what to expect, to be honest. I do hope that maybe we get a male protagonist this time around. Kind of tired of these Sony games like making us switch characters. I just want to play the character I love, bro, and I miss Jin. Bring back Jin, please. And I still think his story of dying at Yotei, so basically he just fucked off with Tsushima and just died at Yotei, so he was there for a little bit, which I mean historically it doesn't kind of make sense. I think there was like another bigger Mongol invasion coming by, but whatever. I don't care. I don't want them touching Ghost of Tsushima's legacy anymore. Just leave Jin alone now. Promise. Like, I hope they don't do anything to him anymore. I think this game did do some damage to the Ghost series, but I think going forward, I think they'll definitely make another title or something, or some more content for this one. I think this game will definitely earn a Game of the Year nomination, but I do not think it will win that award. Probably graphics and art direction for sure. I'm not even sure what they'll do going forward, like I said, but we'll see. I'll definitely keep in touch, seeing what Sucker Punch makes. Hopefully, they revisit some of their other IPs, a Sly game, maybe another Infamous, maybe a new IP, who knows, but yeah, we'll see. So yeah, that's what I thought, guys. Let me know down below what you guys saw of the game. How did you guys enjoy it? Now, I did have some negative stuff in this review, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. You know, am I wrong? Am I right? You know, let me know. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, like the video, definitely helps me out in the algorithm. Become a member if you want to support me directly. Yeah, and go follow my Twitch. I usually live stream, you know, newer games coming out, and I'll post some highlights, and I usually have a good time there. So yeah, definitely follow me there. Turn on the bell notifications as well, and I'll see you guys later, man. Take care. Peace.